Happy Thursday to all of our people on the interwebs. Welcome to S+Marketing. We're jazzed to be here. It's going to be a great Thursday. Half of it's gone, so that makes it even better. Today, it's inbound, content strategy, and tigers. I know, you're going to have to wait and see. Why tigers? We don't know. Well, what is S+Marketing Live? Thanks for asking. It is marketing based on the ultimate human technology, stories. We're here to make you feel and be smarter about what's happening in the marketing world right now. That's our goal. We're going to make it happen. Our team's here from Story Collaborative. We're a group of growth marketing consultants. And while we do our introductions, if you guys would start a watch party on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, maybe grab a snack, meet us right back here and we'll get started. Dave, introduce yourself.
Howdy. Nice to see all of you. Actually, I can't see you, but I would like to. I'm Dave Mills. I'm our Chief Growth Officer, and it's my privilege to help people wrestle with the tigers, if that's what that's about, and identify the pathways to growth that will help them get where they want to go. That's a lot of fun, and I'd love to do it with you if you want to give me a call. And we're looking forward to what we have to share today.
Fantastic. Chad, say hello.
Hello, lovely people of the world. I am Chad Alexander, and I am the video strategist with Story Collaborative. So what does that mean? It means I help businesses figure out their video strategy. I help them from pre-production all the way through post-production, figuring out where to place their videos and how to make them more effective. So there you go. Welcome.
Love it. And we're really excited to welcome Jennifer Bailey back. We're so glad you're here with us. And we hope your kids are, off to school well. Say hello.
They are. Hi, I'm Jennifer Bailey. I'm the web therapist here at Story Collaborative, and I have the privilege of identifying and diagnosing and assessing websites to help figure out how to make them better and how to cure them of their illnesses. So that's what I do. Thanks for having me.
Beautiful. Well, today we're talking about Digital Inbound Conference and why we're so excited about it. We're also going to talk about a little bit about how to build a content strategy and also the fact that tigers live longer than cheetahs. Then we'll discuss what that means for you and how you can adapt that to your own marketing efforts. We do have a drawing today. Everyone get hyped for the drawing. I'm wearing a very special shirt today. It says, you can't really tell, it says, "Trust me, I went to inbound." Trust me, I went to inbound. Okay, so for the inbound conference, it is digital this year due to obvious reasons. And so it's 2 days at the end of September, and we are doing a drawing for a free ticket. You'll have like a front row seat to people like Bob Iger from Walt Disney, among others. I think Chad's going to talk about it a little bit later. We're super excited. It's going to be fantastic. So how do you enter the drawing? Great question. All you have to do is subscribe to ShortStack. ShortStack is our really fun, snarky, snappy weekly email in which we send you all kinds of marketing knowledge that you can sort of like peruse in your morning coffee, and it helps you to, be smarter about marketing. If you go to bit.ly/getsmartquick, that's bit.ly/getsmartquick. I'll include the link. You can subscribe and you'll be entered to win our drawing, which we'll draw mid-September. Okay, our first segment, repeat after me. Jennifer, I have a question for you. When your intern walks up to you and they're a cute little ponytail or something, I don't know what interns, how they dress, and they ask, "What is the first thing I can do to SEO my articles?" What do you tell them?
Oh, thanks for asking. Hey, intern. I am excited that you want to optimize your content. With good content that has some basic search engine structure, like keywords, your content should be reaching higher ranks with Google search in no time. But first, it's really important that you have some very basic understanding of how Google wants to find and rank your content. So, intern, go ahead and log into your HubSpot Academy and filter the marketing classes by search engine optimization. That's a really good place to start. Google Search Console also has a great search engine optimization starter guide. To help Google find your content, you're going to want to use keywords in some very specific places and have enough content in your article that Google will be able to rank it. Remember, Google will see your article the same way a user will. So your goal is simply to tell Google what the topic of your article is using keywords and words related to it. I would also say that I'm looking forward to seeing your first piece because it's really important to have a mentor that is able to edit and critique your work and help you get better at SEO. So that's what I would tell my intern.
And they also love being referred to as intern a ton of times. So make sure you do that when you're talking to your intern. Intern number one. Give them numbers, you know. They'll love it.
Like
You give them
minions.
names like at the office, the fire guy, or
Fire.
you know.
That is not very
Ryan
nice.
started the fire. Ryan started the fire.
I love it. Jennifer, do you have a question you can ask someone else?
No, I actually have a question for Dave. Dave, how would you convince your VP of sales when they complain to you that our customers keep asking why are we so much more expensive than our competitors?
Yeah, this is a great question, and this price question comes up a lot for a lot of companies. And so what's really important here is that we help people to think about cost in a different way. When we are comparing just cost against cost, that means that we are a commodity. So we always want, I know when we're working with our clients, we want to help them to never become a commodity, because when we compare based on price, we are then eliminating all other factors, which means that it becomes unimportant whether we have quality or whether we provide a good service or product. So what we like to say is that the right calculation is always based on the value that you receive, right? The amount of money I put out should be equal or should be relative to what I get in return. So if I want to go camping and I am choosing between a cabin that is built out of pallets, this is kind of extreme, you know, kind of a pallet and brush cabin. I'm not wanting to go like adventure camping. I want to go like glamping. I want to go somewhere really comfortable. So I'm choosing between something made out of pallets or it's a converted shed versus a beautiful log home that has air conditioning, a deck, and a lake. Which one would you pay more for, right? It's an obvious question. And the same thing happens when we buy a car, we buy a house, when we go for purchasing almost anything. So we really have to think about the value exchange. Now, if you are a business to business entity, you're selling to other businesses, then it's really a question of return on investment. If I bring a greater return to you, then that should be worth more money, right? So it's really about that. But a couple other things to bring up when you're having this conversation. Always talk about value and shift the conversation to talking about value. But also think about what's the cost of lost opportunity. If I don't work with you, or you know, if I don't send my child to your school or to your counseling center, or you don't provide the home care for my company, then what we have to ask is, what's the cost of lost opportunity? And it could be huge. It could be life altering. And so it varies, right? But there's also a cost to buying poor quality or not buying at all. There's also a cost to brand damage. So if I purchase something that does not match my brand, and use something that does not match my brand. So for example, I purchase a really terrible website. Now, keep in mind that websites are not just about looks, they're about the work that they do. But I purchase a website that doesn't do anything. And in fact, it actually makes me look bad. So now I'm damaging my brand. What's that worth? What's that cost? And the third one would be, what's the cost of making bad choices? If I make a bad choice and it takes me down a road that's not great, What's the outcome of that? So these are a couple different ways of helping people to think differently about costs. We're more expensive because what we provide is far superior.
Do you think sometimes that when someone thinks that something's too expensive, or when salespeople are concerned about that group of people that's shopping for cost, if you're not the bottom line cheapest, then often those people just comparing costs really aren't the right customer anyway?
Well, first of all, when someone asks about cost, it's actually a very good thing. It means that they're interested. And that's a good thing when they ask about cost. When they complain about it being too expensive, then what that means is you have not been able to help them to see or understand the value that you offer, or they just don't like what you offer, or the value to them is not important. So it certainly could be a mismatch. If they're looking for the bottom dollar purchase, then they should go do that. And you shouldn't compete with that. You should really continue to do what you need to do to deliver something of quality. And I know when I buy steak at some stores for the same money, I get a very different quality than if I buy it for a low, cheap amount. So I have a question though. Can I ask someone else a question?
Oh, you totally can.
Okay, Amy, I want to ask you, I want to see if I can stump you here. What do you say? What do you answer when a client asks, how can I get more content on my website?
Ooh, more content. Just write a bunch more. I'm kidding. All right. Well, more content. That is definitely something that our clients ask us, I think, because it's a struggle, because content often equals investment of time. And nobody has investment of time, especially for something that feels like it doesn't have like an instant return. So it's a good question. Well, Gary Vaynerchuk, which is now famous in marketing, he is incredibly famous for having said, every one of you is a media company. And I think that has, well, that has been increasingly true over the years since he said it. 2020 is like, if you didn't believe it before, then you probably believe that now. Everything, all media, every piece of information and content, the way that we work with each other, the way that we find our customers has gone digital and so online. So it's really, really true. So here's, I think, what I would say in a nutshell. The best case scenario for you is if you have someone in charge of content and that's actually their full-time job. But that's not always possible, and it's certainly not always possible to start with. So the most important content for your website will do one of three things. It's either going to answer questions that a salesperson would have to answer in a phone call, in a free consultation. It's going to deliver resources to prospective customers that help with that felt need so that they learn how to trust you. Or three, it's going to build your authority as a thought leader in your industry to demonstrate skill and really gain that SEO power. Okay, so those are the areas you're focused on. You can begin building those types of content by creating those responsibilities in the roles throughout your company. So have a ton of people in your company slightly responsible for content. Provide them the tools, like provide your sales team with especially video tools, provide them to customer service teams, your marketing team, your product knowledge holders, and whatever way that each in-person is comfortable developing content, even if it's recordings when they're driving to and from the office, if that's something they're even doing these days. Whatever that way is, make it comfortable and quick and easy for them. Have them write topics around their wheelhouse, and then hire an intern or transition someone to like part-time role as managing all that incoming information, publishing it on your digital assets, and kind of keeping the ball rolling. That's my answer to that question. All right, I've got a question for you, Chad. Let's say that you have got your boss in front of a camera because he needs to talk about something important or not, either way. And he's saying, I'm terrible at this. And he, she, they're all stressed out. How do you help them feel at ease in front of the camera?
All right, so first of all, just it's okay. It's okay to feel nervous. It's perfectly fine. But let's do a few things to help you calm down. So first of all, take a deep breath and breathe out. That's better, right? Okay, so now that you're managing your stress, now let's do a test, and we're gonna record you. But before we record, start smiling about 10 seconds beforehand. You'll notice that you're gonna naturally relax more, and you're gonna be more confident about yourself. Um, and we're gonna keep rolling. And if you mess up, that's okay. Especially with live events, people understand that you're going to mess up. You're human. It's a live broadcast. It just adds to the authenticity of it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Another thing is to show your hands a lot, because if anything humanity's taught us is that open hands mean that I have nothing to hide. So when you show your hands, it means that you're showing a symbol of respect, and you're saying, hey, I have nothing behind my back, and it helps people actually talk with their hands. So don't feel bad. It's like a muscle. You just have to train it. You have to work on it a lot, especially now with the Zoom culture that we're living in. The more you get on camera, the more confident you're going to feel, and the more that muscle is going to be trained. It's going to be like second nature to you. So you can do this, boss. You got this. Believe in you. We're going to pump you up. There you go.
Or just be Chad, and then
or just
you'll naturally relax.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
you'll just naturally be confident in front of camera. So
In the show Community, I don't know if y'all have seen this show, but in Community, there's this really funny episode where there's all kinds of riots happening throughout the school, and one of the girls has mustard all over her cheek. She had just eaten lunch, and she stands up and she starts talking, and everyone's listening. And then someone points out the mustard, and she wipes it off, and she keeps talking, and everyone starts ignoring her. And so throughout the episode, she continues to use mustard or smear on her face to get people to sympathize and listen to her. It's very funny. But I think that hands are like the same thing. Like they create like a sympathetic connection that we don't always expect. And so anyway, it just reminded me of that show. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the term of the week. Dave, what you got?
So the goal of our time together is to get smarter and do it quick, right? About marketing and sales. So the term of the week this week is actually the term, use my hands, choice paralysis. Choice paralysis. This is the inability to choose. It's being frozen in the middle of a decision process because of a mental or emotional overload. So this is a real problem in marketing, and it stems all the way from the offers that we create for our company or nonprofit. What are we offering to people? What are we asking them to do? The actions we want them to take, all the way through our website, through all the things we ask people to review. If we give too many people too many choices, then they become paralyzed. It's called choice paralysis. And what that means for you on your marketing properties is that you'll have fewer conversions. Fewer people will engage because they'll be stuck. Now, the best example of this that I can think of is going to eat at the Cheesecake Factory, because the menu is so large that if you are hungry or tired, right?
It's perfect.
The menu, and I don't know how they possibly have all that food in the back, or like how many armies of cooks, or maybe it's all frozen. I don't know. It's delicious food, but the menu is just too big. It gives me choice paralysis. So let me give you some stats about choice paralysis to give you some more ways to think about it. This is a problem for a lot of websites and for marketing programs. About almost 8 in 10 of choice paralysis occurs with important decisions. So if it's a choice between spearmint and some other flavor of gum, probably not such a big problem, right? But when it's a car, educational purchase, a healthcare purchase, something bigger, then it's much more likely to happen. If the product touches on someone's personal identity, their clothing, what they drive, what they're identifying with, their sunglasses would be an example. Anything that touches on personal identity, yeah, that's right, is much more likely to result in choice paralysis. Now, about 1/3 of choice paralysis realities occur within a brand. So it's not like they're looking at your school, your home care, your business, and some other one. They're looking within your brand. I don't know if I should buy gold, silver, or medallion green. whatever your choices are, right? They get stuck. So the real challenge here is that we are creating a situation. What's being triggered are a couple of things. The first one is really FOMO, fear of missing out. If I make the wrong choice, then what am I going to be missing out on? Because I don't want to have what we call decision regret, which is how terrible you feel. Ever buy a new car and then you feel horrible for a day because even though you like the smell of it and it's fun to drive, you just feel so guilty. So this is being triggered by this whole emotional mental process that starts with choice paralysis. And so it's important for us to realize that it's really important. Now, the most famous study was done at Columbia University in about the year 2000. And they got some research assistants. They dressed them up as store employees, and they gave customers samples of either 6 or 24 flavors of this really good British jam. Really exotic, unusual. It's not like strawberry. It's, kiwi, lime, salt, or something unusual. And it's either 6 or 24. So when they were testing it, when there was 24 flavors being offered, about 60% of the people stopped to sample, compared to 40% when only 6 were offered. So the more flavors attracted a greater audience than the fewer flavors. But the 24 flavors only had a 3% purchase rate. For the 6 flavors, it was a 30% purchase rate. So that would mean with 100 people, 60 would stop at your website to sample all the things you offer, all 24, but less than 2 would purchase. But if you only offered 6 choices, 40 people would stop at the table and 12 would purchase. That's about 6 times better outcome for you or more. So it's very significant that we begin the process of narrowing down the choices so we can help people not to get stuck in choice paralysis. That's the word of the week. I hope that you can memorize it, tattoo it on your arm, or something like that.
There is this theory around, I think it's called the assistant problem, if I remember correctly. But it's this idea that if you're hiring a new assistant or whoever, that if you interview more than 3, you will make a worse decision than if you only interviewed 3. And the idea being essentially this, that you begin to forget and you muddle people together, and at some point you just sort of choose someone because you've interviewed 20 people and you just don't even know anymore. But if you just chosen the first 3 applicants, then one of those would have been the right choice and you would have had a better outcome. Interesting. All right, so let's move on to ads in the wild. Roar. This week, the tiger is real. It's not just me saying roar. I will be doing ads in the wild this week, and I'm so excited. PeaTos versus Cheetos. Okay, so first of all, Cheetos, we all know Cheetos. They are an incredibly guilty pleasure. I have not had Cheetos in I don't know how many years because I know what's in them, but they're delightfully delicious. They have a great crunch. They're bright orange, right? Well, PeaTos, you don't think so, Dave? Not into Cheetos?
They get that cheesy stuff all over your hands. Delicious, but then there's...
Yes, there's a lot of consequences to eating Cheetos, the least of which is the orange hands.
Isn't it the same stuff that Doritos uses, and it basically shuts down your sensation that you're getting full?
Probably. That's likely.
So there you go.
So about, I don't know, a couple years ago, PeaTos came into the mix. PeaTos ripped off the Cheetos brand. It's like a slightly less junk food version. It's made of peas. And their campaign is hilarious. So I'm gonna share my screen. You can check that out. Hold on. Make my screen the right shape here. Do. Oh no.
Is that the pre-roll music?
All right, so can you all hear that? Yeah, all right.
Junk food used to be the place to get your tasty snacks.
It used to.
Now I'm older and smarter, and I don't buy those stupid bags.
None of that. None of that.
I buy World Peace PeaTos. They taste great, and that's a fact.
PeaTos.
Better than junk food. I found them in produce. I had to snag a bag.
You're basically Drake right now.
So it's hilarious, obviously. They put out a paw print logo, and their tagline was "Tigers live longer than cheetahs," which is a direct hit against Cheetos. Cheetos actually put a cease and desist order out against that logo and tagline because it was so close.
Are you for real?
It's hilarious.
That's ridiculous. Come on.
And then here is share the screen too. Hold on.
Dun, da, da,
Wow.
pre-roll.
Dun, da, da. So here is some of their recent messaging. Hey Chester, we did it better. Hey Chester, bring it on. Hey Chester, checkmate. Okay, so they're actively trying to make Cheetos mad. It is very funny. They also launched bettersnacks.com, which is a direct ripoff of all of the
Snacks.com, right?
of snacks.com, which has all the Pepsi Cola stuff, including
love it.
Cheetos. So anyway, all this to say, I think it's a really interesting campaign because they weren't just like, we're for the smart, healthy mom, and we're gonna have conservative blah 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 with nature pictures, and here's all. No, they were like, let's just rip Cheetos off and be obnoxious the whole time, and it's still for millennials, right? It's still for a ton of moms out there. So I think it's been really, really brilliant. They're essentially ripping off of the Cheetos, all the brand equity Cheetos has built over many, many years. They're ripping that right off, and they're actually gaining brand equity simply by saying, by like sort of making fun of Cheetos. It's very smart, and I think it's probably paid off for them.
So funny.
It reminds me of, this is like a textbook example of 90s marketing where it's like, oh, the Sega's the best. No, Sony PlayStation's the best. No, Nintendo 64 is the best. Like it's just in your face. Your brand sucks. No, your brand sucks. Oh man, I miss those days. Anyways, but now everybody has now everybody's throwing litigation around. But anyways,
Well, we got to figure out though, how do they make the peas turn orange? Because that's not a natural color. I don't care how healthy
they
it
have
is.
no.
It's not a natural color for peas.
I went on their website just to kind of obviously get a sense about them. They have no artificial colors. They have no GMO. They have none of the kind of big stuff junk food has. It's still probably not like they don't. The other thing is that if you go to their website, they talk about like, we're not like the perfect snack. They have this image that's like halfway between. They have a woman who's like covered in lettuce, and the other images is like someone slacked eating a bunch of crap on their couch, and so they're like, we're halfway between the two. They're not claiming to be the most healthy thing you eat, just way more healthy than Cheetos.
It's a great way to understand your target audience is to say they're kind of halfway between this and this.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty clever.
It is.
That is super clever. And also, I think it's brilliant that they're like totally trolling on Cheetos. And Cheetos is all offended by it. You know what? Like, it's perfectly legitimate what they're doing. And I remind those the Wix commercials too that we just reviewed a couple weeks back about like the terrible commercials, and they're playing off of it. They're saying we're bad at commercials, but you should totally try our snacks. I am about to go buy these on Amazon right now. To try. So, Amy, great ads in the wild segment. Favorite segment, you totally pulled it off.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm probably gonna have to buy some next time I'm in store too. All right, let's move on.
Hey guys, your move. If you want good marketing,
Your
it's your move. Seriously.
Oh my gosh. Let's do the brief. Chad, what kind of briefness you got for us?
Brief. All right, so we're going to bring it around town. We originally started talking about inbound. This is inbound 2020. This is the if you have to go to any inbound conference, and as you can see, I have my HubSpot fidget spinner. I'm still rocking these. I love a good fidget because I am kind of a fidgety personality. Inbound 2020, it is the inbound conference. And it's going to be really fun. They're going to do 2 days of virtual conferences, and they're going to have audio only sessions, so you can take a break from looking at a screen. You have some live events as well. Bob Iger is going to speak, executive chairman of Disney, which is, I hope you guys knew about him. Scott Belsky, the chief product officer for Adobe, and Jim McKelvey, the co-founder of Square. So if you've went to like a taco truck or something and you've swiped your card on a Square, you can thank him. So these guys are all going to have sessions during it. They're going to have things like 10 scientific secrets that make your content impossible to ignore, blurring the lines between websites and web apps with CMS Hub Enterprise, and channeling customer empathy. So check it out. If you subscribe to Short Stack, you have a chance to win a free ticket to Inbound 2020, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, please subscribe to Short Stack. Not only will you, so even if you don't, let's just say you don't win, you'll still get smart by getting our emails. So there you go. And the link for that is, I don't know if you guys can see this, is bit.ly get smart quick. So there you go. Inbound 2020, baby.
Love it. I'm
That's my
excited.
spiel.
Thanks, Chad. That's great.
Plus, they also have tracks. So based on what you're interested in, they have tracks that you can take. And they've promised that this will be one of the best kind of virtual conferences ever. It'll be very personalized. There'll be breakout rooms. So this will be an experience. This is not like watching TV for 2 days. This is actually going to be like, when we come back from Inbound, just honestly, our world is rocked every year, and we have to rethink everything. So I do want to show off my swag from Inbound because it is actually very cool. I got my sales lion from the sales lion leader at HubSpot. So
we've got cheetahs, we've got tigers, we've got lions. Who's next?
Oh my.
Okay. Oh my. All right. Let's move on to our final segment, website therapy. And now that our web therapist is back, she's going to take it over. That's your cue.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, and I feel a little left out that I didn't get the memo about the HubSpot swag. So I'm going to show off some other orange swag that I have. This is for kp2020.org. I'm not really sure what that is, but it is an orange bottle of glasses cleaner. So I'm looking forward to maybe seeing if HubSpot has that kind of swag this year. And I want to say,
I think we should have some swag contests next week. We'll have some HubSpot swag contest next week for our signups for Short Stack. So go on.
Sounds like a
Go on,
plan.
therapy lady.
Okay. So today I'm going to talk about something that you may or may not have experienced. Have you noticed a strange pattern of inappropriate, rude, or vulgar language in random places on your website? Are you seeing strange tics like pop-up messages or changes that you did not make? If you are experiencing any of these symptoms, your website may have been affected by what we call technospasmitis. This happens when your website security has become vulnerable and the code has been compromised by malware. Other symptoms of technospasmitis could include you start getting more spam comments or messages than usual, your website slows down or it breaks. You could get pop-up messages that you did not add. Internet traffic suspiciously increases. Website pages change without your input, or unusual messages show up unexpectedly. If this is your website, don't worry. There are treatment options for technospasmitis. But first, we need to get to the heart of the issue. Malware is malicious software that's been added by a hacker, including viruses, ransomware, could be Trojans, adware, spyware, all kinds of things. And the hackers, they routinely do this. They upload malware to websites through source code, plugins, and other ways. So to verify your diagnosis, you really need to contact your website administrator. But if you want to get a self-assessment, you can also use Google's Safe Browsing Site Status tool, and you can get that at transparencyreport.google.com. That's transparencyreport.google.com. So to find out more about treatment for technospasmitis, which is malware removal and prevention, please schedule a consultation here with our web therapy team today. And next week, we're going to learn about another website problem and solution. So stay tuned for signs and symptoms of the Oogle website disease, known as no date for promitis. Thank you very much.
No.
Thanks for sharing that, Jennifer. You know, we do have some really great solutions. We have some great solutions for these issues. And we have seen folks, especially those coming from some of the large public, very well-known, highly publicized web hosting solutions, a lot of the DIY solutions. And I actually had a site that we found that one of the people that had provided some code had actually put something in the header of the website that had to be removed because it was not very nice. It was attracting traffic that you do not want. So that's a great insight there. I look forward to hearing about the no date for promitis disease as well.
It's really a sore subject for all these students who aren't getting a prom. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh,
Sorry, kids. Guys, you're not missing anything. I never went. You're not missing anything. Just go out and be you. It's okay. You know, you don't need somebody to tell you your worth. Okay.
Pep talks
there you
with
go.
Chad.
That's right.
Send your children over. All right. Well, this was a really, really fun time, guys. Thank you all for being here. We had a blast. Remember, if you go subscribe to Short Stack, you just might win a ticket to Inbound, which would be super fun for you and for us.
Yeah.
And stories are the ultimate human technology. It's a fact. We've stated it first. If you found this useful, then come back. Come back, and we'll be here Thursday on YouTube and Facebook at noon. So long.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye.
See you guys.